here we have yet another brand new codex. We're playing the Harlequins for the first time with their new book. So against them we've got the Astra Militarum Renegades. So there's something in the air and it's coming down to the planet soon. We're playing, so we've pulled our cards for open war, and the objective is the comet. So at the end of the third turn, something will come through the skies, burning, and land in any one of those 5 locations. So you have to roll for it, so it's unknown where it's going to land. So you've got to stay dynamic in this mission. The twist is restorative, so you select a unit at the start of your turn, and you can heal D3 wounds on that unit. And then of course the deployment, as you can see, is the Vanguard strike deployment. So open war cards we're using, just that's what they're from. I know sometimes people ask, and we do include match play missions on top of the open play setting, so we do like a few restrictions just to make the game a bit more interesting. So we're thinking this mission, probably the Renegade Guard don't even know that the comet will be arriving. It's something of worth. The Harlequins have probably stared into the crystal ball and seen that they can't allow whatever is going to land to fall into the hands of the Renegades. So they've deployed straight out the webway to intercept this falling debris, whatever it may be. Right, so the comet will be coming down at the start of the third turn. So what I want people to do is, in the comment section, I want people to guess what this comet, or what will be the comet, is going to be. So I'll give you a clue. I'll give you 3 clues. It's ancient, it is legendary, and it is truly diabolical. Alright, it's about 1,000 points of Harlequins. We're using the Masque of the Midnight Sorrow, because that's what they are. So across all Harlequins, still got the same rules as in the index for Rise and Crescendo, so they can advance and charge, and also drop out of combat and charge and still shoot. So they pretty much negate a lot of the core rules there, so they're very tricky. So it's a pretty small force. This is an army that I put together in 7th edition when they first came out, so I was waiting to see what they were going to do with the new codex before I made any more units. So we will add all of the obvious things like the haywire blasters and the fusion pistols in later. And here's proof. Got me haywire blasters stuck together ready to go. But for the meantime, until I get those painted, we're going to be using what I put together in 7th, and we'll see how it works. So we'll start with the Warlord then. In fact, we'll go through the detachments. We've got 2 detachments here. We're going to be using a woeful 4 command points. Only 4. So we've got 3 for being battle forged, and we've got 1 because we've got a fast attack detachment, and then this is a patrol detachment. So to help us out, the Warlord trait, he's going to have the Warlord trait for Player of the Twilight. It's a fancy sort of regenerate command points. If you roll the exact number of command points that was spent on a stratagem when you or your opponent use it, then you get that many command points. So there is a way of generating more. We're going to have to hope that will get us, because we're not starting with many command points at all. So cross our fingers when it comes to that. And he also gets a re-roll for various things for himself as well, which will once per game. So we'll see if that turns up as well. So for the patrol, we've got the Warlord. He's armed with the, admittedly, the worst loadout you can give the Harlequins these days, because the Neuro pistol still isn't very good. It's strength 4 now, it's AP -3 and D3 damage, so it's still not as good as a fusion pistol, but that's what he's got. He's also unfortunately got a power sword, which again is not very good. He should have Embrace. That would be a better option, but we're keeping him with the power sword because when we do fold in more units, we'll probably upgrade that to the relic for the storied sword. That's why I've kept him with the sword. But in a game where we haven't got many command points, we're not going to give him the storied sword for this game. Only when I get more units to get more command points will that happen. Okay, so enough excuses. Let's carry on. We've got a big unit of troop here. There's 11 in that unit. There's 3 Harlequin Kisses, and there's 3 Harlequins Embraces. All of them with pistols. And then the back 5 have just the Harlequin close combat weapons, so they'll be setting out on foot. We've got 2 Void Weavers, both the same, with the prismatic cannon on each. And we've got 2 elites. We've got Death Jester, and we've got the Solitaire. So the Solitaire is going to have the free relic that you can give your unit. It's going to be the Star Mist Raiment. He's got a 3+ invulnerable save, which he's got already, but what he can do is he can charge in, and he doesn't suffer Overwatch. So very good for a Solitaire going in alone, so he's negates all Overwatch, which will be big against the Renegade Guard. So for the fast attack detachment, we've got 3 units of 2 bikes each, and these have got the Zephyr Glaive, and underneath they've got the shuriken cannons. So you probably see these days, these will be played with haywire cannons because they're so good these days, but I'm going to stick with the shuriken cannons for this game, see how it goes. And the HQ for that detachment is the Shadowseer, again with an Euro pistol, and the powers he's going to have is Twilight Pathways, and he's going to have Veil of Tears as well, which is a new power. So he's got the ability, if you're within 18, when the power goes off, select a unit, an infantry unit, so it'll be the big unit more than likely, -1 to hit if that power goes off. And then of course Twilight Pathways is still the same, it's just like a 3-inch radius, and you can boost a unit with a warp time style power. So for the Midnight Sorrow, their special trait for that Masque is when you consolidate, you can consolidate 6 inches, which is big. And if you drop out of combat as well, you can also advance. It gives you an extra d6 when you fall out of combat if you want. So you're basically going to act as normal if you're jumping out of combat, and consolidating 6 inches is a big deal. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but it should work out just fine for these. Alright, Harlequins are going against about 1,000 points of Imperial Guard here as well. So the Imperial Guard will be using the Catachan Regimental Doctrine. The reason is because these were once loyal subjects of the Imperium, but they've turned to bio enhancement. That's what all the gas masks are about. So they've been pumping in some sort of contraband steroid into the lungs, and that's why they're strong. That's why they've got the the Catachan regimental trait. So they're all at +1 strength, all the infantry, and then there's ability to reroll random shots on heavy weapons for vehicles. So that's the reason why the Catachan doctrines are in effect. So the army's put together as such. There's 5 command points for being Battleforged, 3 for being a battalion. Sorry, the other way around. Battleforged is 3, 5's battalion, and then 1 for a heavy detachment as well. So the Warlord is the commander here. He's got a plasma pistol, and he's got the Warlord trait for getting you more command points. There's a Primaris Saiga there. He's got Night Shroud and Psychic Barrier. There's a platoon commander here. He's just got pistol and chainsword. Then there's a command squad here. There's 2 melter guns, a standard, and then just a regular bodge. And then they're riding in a Chimera with everything that you see. And then we've got 3 troops, identical, 10-man units, heavy autocannon in there, and a flamer. Sergeant's got the chainsword. So 3 identical units there. And then in the heavy detachment, there's a tank commander. It's just a standard battle tank with a heavy flamer on it. And then we've got 2 standard tanks, exactly the same. These are not commanders though, of course. And then the third heavy choice is this Griffin with the heavy bolter. I've got to say as well, I've been told he's been given the Death Masque. So that gives him a 4+ invulnerable save, and he heals D3 wounds. I think it's at the start of every turn, but it's the Death Masque for his relic. So it's a bit of a break from the norm for us. We normally play these as the Renegade and Heretics from the Forge World series, but we held off for using them for a long time, hoping that the big FAQ, when that landed, it would change some of the rules for the Renegades, because they're just simply not very good, especially the militia, absolutely woeful. So we've just abandoned that plan since there was no amendments to those rules. So we've just got to play the waiting game now. So, but in the meantime, we'll still play these, but they're just going to be the Astra Militarum. Right, so for the Harlequin deployment, we've got a bit of a mirror image going on. We've got on the left flank, we've got the Sky Weavers, and then we've got a Void Weaver. We've got the big Harlequin squad in the centre. We've got the Troop Master and the Shadowseer there as well. We've got another unit of Sky Weavers in the centre. Solitaire's just next to him, and then as the mirror on the other side is the Void Weaver, Sky Weavers, and then the Death Jester is in there as well. For the Renegade Guard, we've got 3 units all set up in their usual roll of a screen. So we've got 1 unit there, 1 unit in front of the sandbags, and the other unit here protecting this Leman Russ, and then the command Leman Russ is just going it alone. And then on the wing is the other Leman Russ, and then right in the backfield is the Chimera and the Griffin. So in the Chimera is all of the characters, and the command squad. Right, we're going to see who goes first. In fact, the Imperial Guard, Renegades, did finish deploying before the Harlequins, funnily enough. They put all the characters in the Chimera behind the Bastion, and that lessened the drop. So they've got +1 to this dice roll. So the Harlequins are going to get a 6, that's good. Renegades get a 2. So Harlequins will go first unless the Renegades steal the initiative. So they're going to need a 6. If they don't get it right, Harlequins get that first turn. Crucial moment. Harlequins turn 1, and as you can imagine, they are incredibly fast. Just zooming up the board, advance moves everywhere, and this is what it looks like. So we've got the Void Waver on this side. He hasn't advanced, he's just moved around. He's going to get a shot on this Leman Russ. The bikes, though, that were next to it, they've advanced. They go a whopping 22 inches when they advance, so they're right in front of the guardsmen there. They can charge after advancing as well, because the Harlequins. Same with that bike unit over there. They're trying to advance on the tank commander. Some deadly overwatch on these tanks, not to forget, because they do each have a heavy flamer, so it's not easy getting through the overwatch, but just tying those vehicles up is pretty advantageous. The Void Waver flies up the top here. He's got a good shot on either Leman Russ. The Death Jester, he doesn't advance very far, he only goes an inch. He only gets on those barrels there. And then the Solitaire, he advances just an inch as well, so he's there. So good advances from the main posse here. The Shadow Seer goes 6 inches. The Troop Master, he doesn't go as far, he only goes 2. But we used a special stratagem on the Harlequins here to make sure that advance 6 inches. We need to get as close as we can. So they used the stratagem for Warrior Acrobats, 1 command point. And that's how far they go, 6 inches automatically. Very, very useful when you're Harlequins. And we also used an additional stratagem on them as well for Prismatic Blur. So they now have an invulnerable 3 save because they advanced. So 2 command points down for the Harlequins. We only got 2 left, and we didn't manage to regenerate them with the Warlord trait. But they are crucial stratagems played. And then the last unit to move was these bikes. So they, again, turbo boost all the way around the side here. With Imperial Guard deploying right in the deployment line here, they're only 2 inches away from this unit, and we've managed to set up it more than 8 inches away from that flamer. So we're going to shut down the flamer for overwatch and try and get it in on that unit. So advanced movements all around pretty much for the bikes, and they're just going to get straight into the Imperial Guard. So the troop over here, we're going to go straight onto the Psychic Phase. So the Shadow Seer, what we're going to do is straight away we're going to do the power for Veil of Time. Warp Charge 7, I believe. Actually, we've changed our mind. We're going to do Twilight Pathways first. So it's on a unit within 3, so we're going to select the troop unit, and we'll get the move again if we pass this. So it's Warp Charge 6 when we need to get this. We do get it on a massive 10. So there is no Psyker to try and deny that. He is within the Chimera, so you can't deny it. So we'll just instantly get that move off, and we'll advance even closer. Okay, so we've done our additional movement with Twilight Pathways, and we're right in the Imperial Guard's face here. Just couldn't go any faster. The wheels are going to come off here if we go any faster. So they're just a massive threat now, deep in the Imperial Guard lines. They're already buffed up with a stratagem with an invulnerable 3 save, and now we're going to do Veil of Tears. It's another psychic power, range 18, and we're going to put it on the infantry unit, the only one that we've got. So if we get this off, Warp Charge 7, they'll be at a further, no, they'll just be at a -1 to hit, sorry. So here we go, need to get this off on a 7. We'll fail, don't want to use a command point, because we've only got 2 left, otherwise we would. So yeah, they're not going to be -1 to hit, but they still do have that stratagem with a invulnerable save of 3 now, so they should be somewhat protected. Right, we're starting our shooting over here, so we've done the Void Weaver, we're doing double shuriken cannons at the infantry unit, and then the fire prism, or the prismatic cannon, is going at the Leman Russ. So we've already done the 2 shuriken cannons, and this is what we've got. We've got all hits, and then for wounds, 4 wounds and 2 blade storms. So there's 2 guardsmen automatically dead at AP -3, and then 4 wounds to save on 5s. So they'll lose another 3, so there's 5 dead in total. And then we're going to do the lance shot. So we're doing the lance shot. It's now an assault weapon, so there's no penalty for moving and hitting with this. So it hits on a 3, we'll get a hit, and then it's strength 8, so we're needing a 4. Don't get it, right, so no damage coming at that Leman Russ. Okay, next up to fire, we're going to do the Shadow Seer. We're going to do the hallucinogen grenade launcher. It's got a range of 18, so we are in range of a Leman Russ. So strange, but he's out of the hatch there. He hasn't buttoned up. He's free to be shot with a hallucinogen grenade launcher. Just get a face full of gas. So what we do is we need to try and hit. We did advance, so at a -1, so we need a 3 to hit, but we'll miss anyway. But that could have been D3 mortal wounds if all went well. Right, we've come over to this side of the battlefield. We've opened up with these 2 Sky Weavers. We did advance, so at a -1 to hit, so ended up hitting on 4s. Got 1 wound and killed 1. And then it's the Void Weaver's turn. It fires the shuriken cannons down at this squad, and then we're doing the prismatic cannon at the tank commander. So we've got 4 wounds with the double shuriken cannon at them that they're going to have to save on 5s. And 2 more go down. And then we've got the prismatic cannon at the tank here, the tank commander. So hitting on a 3, because we did not advance with this one. Up high, so he does hit, needs a 4 to wound. Doesn't wound. Okay, there's another Leman Russ escapes the wrath. Alright, fired off the rest of the bikes now. We've fired this squad at the tank commander, again with the -1 because we advanced, didn't get any wounds. It's a tough tank, the Leman Russ. As did this unit, they fired across to the Leman Russ commander as well with a -1, didn't get the wounds either. Just trying to shave off a few wounds with the blade storms ability on the cannons, but just not cropping up. But we can get in there with close combat and just harass the Imperial Guard. So we've got 1 thing left to shoot, and it is the Death Jester. You can see him just through that pipe there. He's going to fire a shriek around at this squad here, so he needs it's a 1-shot weapon, so it needs a hit on a 2, and he gets a hit. In fact, he doesn't because he advanced, so no dice for him, so he failed. Needs a 3 because he advanced. Right, so that's the end of the shooting phase for the Harlequins. It looks like it's going to be a devastating close combat phase here, because the Harlequins are deep in the lines and there's easy charges to be made, but they just haven't got the weaponry to do any damage. And people are probably thinking, why did the Imperial Guard deploy so close? I think they were caught off guard by the speed of the Harlequins. Obviously they're a fast army, but they're pretty much faster than ever now, given stratagems and stuff. And of course, if you deploy right into the corner here, you're just never going to get the comet when the comet lands. So they're trying to make the Harlequins commit to one side of the board or the other, but the Harlequins are split up. They're not going around in a ball, they're just trying to engage as many targets as possible. So it's a difficult one for the Imperial Guard already, with the Harlequins just already bearing down on them. So it's straight onto charge phases now, so we'll see how that turns out. Okay, we're going to go left to right on the charges. So we started off with this unit first. We made it through the Overwatch. It was made easier for us because we stayed outside of 8 inches, so the flamer couldn't get us, and then all other shots have failed. So we need a 3-inch charge because we're 4 inches away just to penetrate that inch bubble. So we're needing a 3 just to get in. We're in on a 4. Right, we're going to move on to this charge now. So again, we need a 3-inch charge to get there because we're 4 inches away. So the guard, they're going to play defensive gunners. It's going to allow them to hit with that battle cannon on a 5. So what are you going to do first, flamer or the battle cannon?
Battle cannon.
Right, so the battle cannon, it gets a 5. So you're happy with that? You can re-roll it since you are Catachan.
Right.
Okay, so 5 shots, hitting on 5s. So 3 hits, that's pretty good, and then 2s do wound because it's strength 8 against toughness 4. So 2s do wound. And all wound, right, we're saving on 4s here. This could be catastrophic. But we only fail 1, so it's D3 damage. Let's see if you take out a bike, they've got 3 wounds apiece. No, just a single wound on a bike. Do you want to command reroll that?
Yeah.
Do you fancy that? Okay, command reroll. Right, it goes up to 2, so 1 wound left on one of these bikes. So because you used 2 command points there, on a 5+, your Warlord trait will get 1 back. And you get both command points back, and then the Harlequins can do the same. So I'm needing 1s. I need to roll a 1 for the defensive gunner's stratagem, and we do, so we gain a command point, and then 1 for that command reroll you just used. No, so we do gain a command point. Okay, so we're going to go on to the heavy flamer now. It's worth noting as well, because I'm sure people will comment on it. You only get the grinding advance double dice if you're in the shooting phase. It doesn't work in Overwatch, so you still only get 1 dice with the terror weapons from Leaving Rust. That's definitely worth mentioning. So
luckily I got 2 5s.
Yeah, so it's flamer now, and that gets the full 6. The Catachan rule isn't even needed so far when you're rolling so nicely. So needing 3s against the bikes. Okay, there's 4 wounds, which you're going to have to save on 4s. Right, we dropped 2, so that's a bike gone, and then a wound on the other one. Okay, charging with the bike then, with only 2 wounds left. Need a 3 to get in, we're easily in there. Right, coming over here, so this bike unit is going to charge both this unit and this big unit, because there's a flamer down there. We're going to try and lock up that flamer so it doesn't shoot at the troops, because they'll be definitely die into a flamer. So they're going to charge in here first, and then here we'll see what Overwatch happens. Okay, so the bikes suffering the Overwatch big time. It was this squad who's done all the damage. This squad missed every shot, but 6 shots from the flamer and then a couple of hits with the autoguns has left us with 4 wounds to try and save on the bikes. We need to keep as many bikes as we can alive here, so 4s to save, and we've lost another bike. Do we want to command reroll one of those, because I think we might need it, but then again if we fail our charge we'll be looking pretty silly. Okay, I'm going to decide to use a command point reroll to try and keep one of these bikes alive. Here we go, need a 4. Yes, 1 stays alive. Right, so because we used our command point reroll on a 1, we can get that command point back. No, so that one's gone. So we're still down to 2 command points now. We've used that extra 1. So it's a 2-inch charge, or a 2 we need on the dice to get to this unit, and a 4 to get onto this unit as the secondary unit. So we'll get it. We've got a 7. We can get in there and start our Harlequin business. Right, so the bikes go in on a 7-inch charge. If it was just an inch longer, we could, let's say we took out this unit, we could pile in next turn, or at the end of the consolidation, onto this tank. But because we only rolled a 7, we just can't get there. We needed to keep coherency. We needed to try and lock this unit up. So we've done that. We're into this unit, but we're not going to be able to tie down that Leaving Rust, unfortunately. We tried. That was our plan, but the dice say no. But what we did do was lock up this unit, which has allowed this Harlequin unit just to leap over the barrier with no Overwatch and just go straight in on them on a free ride. So here they go. They're going to hack up these once Imperial defenders. Okay, so we're going to start the combat with this unit first. So we're all in range to fight. In fact, he isn't, so he'll pile in over there. Okay, so everyone can fight now. So we're going to attack with the braces first. So we've got 3 amongst that unit, so we've got a lot of shots, 12 I think. So 3s to hit, and there's 4 misses. So we've got 8 hits, and then it's strength 4, so we need 3s to wound. But it is AP minus 3, so there's no saves against this. So we've killed 5 so far. Right, now we've got 12 attacks from the Harlequin Kisses, so these are strength 4, AP minus 1. So a couple of misses in there again, but wounded on 3s. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wounds, and you're saving on 6s because they're only AP minus 1. So another 4 drop. There's only 1 left, and he's probably going to get cut down by the Harlequin Blades. Right, so we've hacked down the last guardsman, and because we are Masque of the Midnight Sorrow, we can pile in 6 inches. So we had this guy out in the wing, because we had a hunch we would wipe that unit pretty easily, which we did. These can now pile in 6 inches, so they're going to get onto this rhino, just using that guy. Rhino? Can't remember. So these are all going to move in 6. So plan the head does get you far. Alright, so they all consolidate into the Chimera. The Chimera will get a fight when the time comes, but we've locked that down for a turn. That's big news. Right, the Renegade Guard, they're playing counter-offensive, so they're going to jump the queue in order of attack for this unit. They're going to try and shave off that last wound on this bike. And because the Catachan, the strength 4, and they could do it. So here's their attacks. They get 3 hits, and now they're needing 4s because of Catachan ability. Really good fight, this Catachans. Only 1 wound, but that could be all they need. That's all they were hoping for, because if they take out 1 bike, that's big news.
Command reroll on.
Okay, command reroll, so you can get another 4. Yes, okay. The likelihood of that bike is now probably been sealed. Oh, no, we get a double save. Denied. Right, see if you get that command point back, because you've just used a command point reroll. No, and then you need your warlord trait to try and get back. No. Yeah, so one of those is returned actually, so 1 command point comes back. Alright, so it's the Harlequins' turn. So on a 1, I get a command point reroll stolen. No. And then on a 2, I get the counter-offensive stratagems that you just played. No, so no extra points for the Harlequins, but they do survive that exchange. That's pretty big. Right, so we're going to attack back here with the Zephyr Glaives. So we're hitting on 3s, all but 1. And then they are strength 5, so we need 3s to wound, and these are AP minus 2. Okay, so we get 4 wounds, and then you're saving on 6s. No, all fail, and it is damage 2. So that is actually the whole squad wiped. Alright, so after that combat, the bikes move on with a consolidation move 6 inches with Masque of the Midnight Sorrow. Still outside of an inch to that tank. Almost succeeded with our Xenos trickery there. So we're going to come over here for the fight. Right, the fight over here was pretty short. We missed with all of our attacks. So straight on to this one. We're going to fight the infantry. We did pile in, and we are within an inch of this tank now, so we've locked this Lehman Russ down. So a bit of a misplacement there from the Imperial Guard. It's been a while since I've beaten them, so I'm making a few rookie mistakes here, but piled in, we've locked that down. Zephyr Glaives, here we come. So again, just 1 miss, with 3s to wound now. And that is 4 wounds again, so 7 on 6s at AP minus 2. And not a 1, so there's 4 cut down. Okay, so we're going to go on to the Renegade fights now. It's worth mentioning that I've been saying all this time, AP minus 2 against a 5+ save. There is no save. There's no save of 6s. Don't know why I was saying that. But anyway, luckily the Imperial Guard didn't get one of them. Just had a mind meltdown there. Right, so we're going to have the Imperial Guard fight back. So we've got strength 4 attacks coming back at these bikes. Right, we've got 7 attacks coming back at these bikes, and so hitting on 4s. Wow. So 6 hits, and then 4s to wound. Catachan, Devotion is serious business. Wow, 5 wounds. Going toe to toe here, and the Guard might win. Oh no, we've lost 4 wounds. We've lost a bike and a wound on another. That's quite embarrassing. Right, the Lehman Russ is going to attack back since it is within range. He's got 3 attacks hitting on 6s. Gets 1 hit. Needs a 3 to wound.
Command reroll.
You've already used the command reroll in the fight for this. So, yeah, no damage there. So this bike's still on 2 wounds left. So we're going to go on to the commander. He's got 3 attacks. And he gets a hit, so he needs a 3. Gets it, right. So needing a 4 to save. We do get it. Well, that was trickery. That was definitely some Harlequin stuff at work. Right, the Chimera is going to fight the Harlequins now, and it's got 3 attacks. 6s to hit, gets 1, needs a wound on a 2, gets that wound. Right, because I've got Prismatic Blow, saving on a 3. We do. Okay, so we are fine. Okay, so we're straight on to morale checks, and these passed. They rolled a 6, then command re-rolled it to a 1, so they passed the test, and they're still in the fight, which is big news for Catachan trained troops, or intoxicated steroid freaks that they are. So that fight will continue, and it's a dangerous fight because these are no joke. is on. It's on big time. So, of course, this wasn't locked down, we just couldn't get there. So it's pulled away and it will be able to fire. It's moved half speed, so Grinding Advance will grace us with its presence. This pulled out of combat from the Harlequins, but not before it dropped off its cargo. So everyone's there. They've got the captain, the lieutenant, Saiga, and the close combat unit there. Griffin, that's untouched, that'll be able to fire. This won't, of course, because it pulled out of combat. Over here, this pulled out of this combat, so it won't be able to fire, and the tank commander pulled out of the combat, and he won't be able to fire. But this fight will continue. So we're going to go straight onto the psychic phase, and we'll see what happens. So this Primaris Saiga is going to smite the Harlequin unit right in front of him. And it's catastrophic on a double one.
Reroll.
So command reroll. So it does come off on a 6. We can't deny it because we're outside of 12 with our Shadow Seer. So D3 more wounds. Just reroll. The one. You can't just use the command reroll. Cheeky. Absolutely cheeky. Alright, so just one wound. That's one Harlequin dead. Nothing we can do about that. So we're just going to take a Harlequin. And then did get his command point back with the Warlord trait. Let's see if the Harlequins get one back. So use a lovely blue dice. On a 1, gain a command point. No, it's a 6. Can't complain about rolling a 6 though. Right, I've had Las Pistols from the collection of characters. There's been a couple shot, and we've got 2 wounds to save on the Harlequin. So again, Prism something gives us invulnerable 3, is what we're going to say at the end of the day. And we've failed both of those, so we've lost 2 more dancers. Alright, so we've got the 2 melter guns now in that squad, going to fire, hitting on 3s, because they're from the command squad. 2 hits, 2's to wound.
No, it's 1 hit.
No, sorry, 1 hit, 2's to wound. Yep. Okay, so again we've got that invulnerable 3 because of prismatic blur, and we'll roll another 2. Okay, this is not going very well for the Harlequins. Can't take it. And then we've got a plasma pistol from the main man. No use in overcharging it, and it's lucky he didn't. Alright. Right, the Griffin will now fire. So it's going to do the heavy bolter at the troop, and then the Griffin heavy mortar is going to go at this bike here. It's got 2 wounds left. So the heavy bolter needs 4s to hit because it didn't move. 1 hit, needing a 3. Okay, comes off scot-free. Right, the Griffin. It's not every day you see a Griffin, so this is heavy D6, and you roll 2 dice and you pick the best. So you might as well re-roll that 1, because you can re-roll a dice because you Catachan, so you can try and get a 6. No, so the 5 will stand. So you're hitting on 4s, but the bikes have hollow launches, which is a -1, so you're hitting on 5s. But it's deadly if it hits, but it doesn't hit. Okay, dodge that shell. Alright, so we're coming around here, so we're going to have this Lehman Russ. It's going to fire the heavy flamer at this bike unit, and then the battle cannon is going to go at the Void Weaver. So what are you firing first?
Heavy flamer. Heavy
flamer, right, so D6, and again it's a 6, Catachan, special doctrine not required. So needing 3s to wound. And there's 4 wounds. We're going to have to save on 4s. We've already got a bike on 1 wound left. So we suffer 2 wounds, so 1 bike's down and a wound on another. Alright, the battle cannon now is going to fire at the Void Weaver. So Grand Advance, doesn't like the look of that 1, so with Catachan Doctrine, it's going to re-roll it. So that's 12 shots, and that is a ridiculous amount. So, okay, so hitting on 5s because of the hollow launches. 12. So many dice. Just need to count them all. Right. 5s to hit. That's pretty good. There's 3 hits I can see. Just 3 hits actually. So 3 hits and then 3s to wound against the Void Weaver. Gets 2. Right, we've got
command reroll.
Okay, command reroll. No. Right, let's see if we steal that one on a 1. No, and then let's see if you get yours back on a 5. No, so that one goes to the wind. So anyway, there's 2 solid hits on the Void Weaver, and then we're going to need to save on 4s, invulnerable 4s. We'll get 1, fail 1. Alright, so it's D3 damage on the Void Weaver. It's the full 3. Right, we're halved on the Void Weaver, but these don't have a degrading profile. They've got 6 wounds, but now it's only got 3. The last thing to fire was the sergeant over here with a pistol. He missed his shot, so it didn't work. And then over here, charged in on the troop. So the commander went in first, got through almost all the Overwatch, but he did take a wound off a pistol. So he's got 3 wounds left, but they're now geared up to fight. So, what's going on then? Who's going to fight first?
he's the big guy.
The commander. Right, he's changed his mind. He's not going to go with the commander first. He's going to go with the largest squad. So they've got 6 attacks. Some of them have got chainswords, some of them haven't, and they're hitting on 4s. Only 2. Alright. 4, not 3s because of the Catachan. 2 wounds. Again, we're needing 3s. We haven't got 1 yet this turn. So hopefully we can save. Yep, double 6. We'll like the look of that. Right, so that's that squad finished fighting. So now we're going to use our last 2 stratagem points or command points, and we're going to do. We're going to jump the queue, and we're going to fight next with the Harlequins because we'll surely get whittled down by all these characters. So we will fight with these guys. Right, so here we go with the Harlequins. First of all, we're going to see if we get our 2 command points back. We need to roll a 2. Yeah, that was a free intervening into the attack phase. Quality stuff. Right, so we're splitting our attacks up as follows. We're going to have these 3 fight the Saiga, and then the rest of them are going to fight the commander, see if we can take them down. So we've got 2 Harlequins fighting with kisses against the Saiga. 3s to hit. So we've dropped 3, 5. Find the mark, and then we've got 3s to wound. Okay, that's pretty good. We've got 4 wounds. And the Saiga needs to save on 6s, and each of these is D3 damage. He's filled them all, and so we'll just do the D3s, because it's clearly going to die. He's absolutely dead. So he's dead. Okay, so against the commander, we've got 2 Harlequins embraces. To fight against the commander, we'll get, again, we've dropped 3. We are strength 4, so we need 3s to wound. We'll get all of them. These are AP minus 3, but again, he's got that death mask, which gives an invulnerable 4. So he's saving on 4s. He's saved all of those, but not that one. So he's taking another wound. He's got 2 wounds left. Okay, but we do have a Harlequin's Kiss to fight him with. Still got another one. Right, we're going to fight with the Harlequin's Kiss here. We're going to have 4 attacks hitting on 3s. These are the dangerous ones. Okay, we get 3 attacks. That hit and 3s to wound. There's 1 so far. Oh, just 1. Saving on a 4, but it's D3 damage. He fails it. Command point. Command reroll. Needs a 4. He's so nervous it's fell off the table. Gets it. Ooh, stops the damage outright. Let's see if you get a command point back on a 5. Yes, he does. And then let's see if the Harlequins steal it on a 1. No, they don't. Right, last one to fight is the basic close combat weapon against the sergeant, against the commander. So only hit twice. Can he be efficient? Needs 4s to wound. Fails badly. Right, so don't get our man, he will fight. Okay, here we go. The retaliation from the commander and the platoon commander. They're the same stat line, so we're just going to do these both together. So 8 attacks in total, hitting on 3s. All but 1. That's some quality hitting there, hitting better than the Harlequins. And then wound on 3s because they are Catachan or they are pumped up full of steroids because of those packs. And that is brutal. 6 wounds on the Harlequins to save. On the invulnerable 3s. We're going to have to pray for a miracle here because we're going to get humbled by the guard. Ooh, we only lose 1. So we'll take the last remaining guy with just the blade, the Harlequin blade. Right, and at the last combat of the phase, we've got these stern fighters. 7 attacks are going to try and bring down this bike. So only 2 wounds left on it. So they get 4 hits. And needing 4s to wound. Just 1. So they're not going to kill it, but can they hurt it? No. Blocks. Right, he's going to attack back then because there's nothing left to fight. And here he goes. He's got 3 attacks. Gets all 3. It's a good start. Needs 3s to wound. Gets all 3, says 3 dead, 3 cut down in their prime, and it's 2 damage each. Do you want to keep hold of your sergeant? That's the question.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So because it's 2 damage, we'll just cut through the heavy weapons team. So just the sergeant remains. Right, just finishing off the turn here. So this lonely sergeant, he's now ran away, he's gone. Couldn't pass the morale. And this squad is going to have to take a morale check. The leadership 8, but they've lost 5. So what we're going to do is we're not even going to chance it. We're just going to play insane heroism, or insane bravery as it's called, for 2 command points. It's our last 2 command points, and we're going to pass our morale automatically. It was really lucky that we got our 2 command points back for doing the counter-offensive to play that stratagem to stay in the fight, because we don't want to lose any Harlequins now. So because we used that stratagem for 2 command points on a 2, we'll get those back yet again, which would be pretty welcome. No, so they're gone forever. We don't have any command points left now. We just have to hope that will generate some when the Imperial Guard spend them. So it's on to Harlequins' next turn. It's been brutal so far. The Guard's counter-attack has been pretty formidable. Can't count out those steroid enhanced warriors. Okay, Harlequins turn 2. So at the start of the turn, we do the mission rule for open war, and that's restorative. So we heal D3 wounds, and we chose to do it on this Void Weaver. Rolled the full 3, so he's back to full health now, and he's ready to tackle this Leman Russ, just harass it to death. So the jet bikes have whizzed around as well. So this one's come down from here. It's going to harass these vehicles. This one's zoomed over from here. It's going to harass this unit here, and this one is staying in this vicinity now. It's going to try and do something. I don't know what it's going to do, but the Void Weaver comes down from high. He's going to tackle this Leman Russ again. Harassment is the order of the day. The Death Jester, he goes up top here. He's going to shoot down, but this is the trick here. We've got the Solitaire. He's gone through the wall because you just ignore terrain, and he's right in front of the tank here. He can charge without any overwatch, so he's going to charge on the tank, and then I think all the characters are going to try and get in just to lock him down so he can't break away. So just again, harassment is the order of the day. So we're going to move on to the static phase. We're going to do the Twilight Pathways. In fact, we're going to do Smite first, because this Leman Russ is the nearest. On a 5, we're going to smite it. We do passes on a 6. The Psych is long dead, so no deny of the Witch. So D3 mortal wounds on the tank commander. Just 1 wound on him, and then we're going to do Twilight Pathways, so we'll move again with the Shadow Sea. It needs to come off on a 6. We failed, does not move again. Ooh. Right, I've had the Death Jester fire down at the tank, didn't do anything. He can't fire because he's got a pistol and he advanced, but the Shadow Sea has fired the Hallucinogen Grenade Launcher. Hits on a 2, we've already hit, but now it's 2d6 against the leadership. So it's only leadership 7 for a Leman Russ, so it does actually work against Leman Russ. So again, we've got another attempt. Well, if we can match it or beat it, it's D3 mortal wounds. No, we can't do it. So we just can't get any mortal wounds on this tank. Okay, so we've fired all weapons from these two at this Leman Russ. So between the shuriken cannons, we've got 2 Blade Storm results and then 3 wounds at this tank. So he's going to need to see the 2 Blade Storm on 6s. So there's 2 wounds on the tank so far, and then 3 ordinary saves from the shuriken cannons. There's another wound. So he's taken 3, and now we're going to fire the Fire Prism, or the Prismatic Cannon at him, as promised. So it does hit. We need a 4 again. No, we just can't do anything with our Prismatic Cannons. So just 3 wounds. We're going to have to hope the Solitaire and all the characters getting in on there can do some significant damage. Okay, we moved on to more shuriken cannons. We had this cannon and this cannon at the Griffin. Didn't do anything, just couldn't get the wounds. And then we had the pistols go off in combat and didn't do anything to the Lord, but we killed the Melter Gunner and we'll put a wound on this Lieutenant Platoon Commander. So he's slowly dripping away, but they're still in the fight. Okay, this fired onto the Leman Russ, fired the double shuriken cannon, didn't do anything. It's not a good round for damaging vehicles, but we've got the Prismatic Cannon. Let's see if it can fulfill its destiny here. Hits on a 3, he's hit. Right, we need that 4, this is the hard part. And we still don't get it right. And not a soul is being hurt by that cannon so far. Right, moving on to charges now. So we're charging the Voidweaver into the Lehman Russ. He played defensive gunners again, so hitting on 5s in Overwatch. Rolled a 6 for the battle cannon. It's got 2 wounds. And here we go. So we don't have any command points, so if we fail these could be bad. So we've got 2 to save on 4s. We'll pass them both. That's heart in the mouth stuff, because each one of those would be D3 damage, and if you rolled well, that might have been the end of this. So it does get in, and it's going to continue the harassment. Right, so the Voidweaver goes in up there, and then down here we chance the Overwatch against this Chimera. We take a wound in the Overwatch, but we do get in, and then we're going to pile in when the tank comes onto the Griffin as well to lock that down. Harassment is the word. This jet bike goes in against this lieutenant, so he's going to fight against him. And then over here, the Voidweaver on this one gets through the Overwatch just fine, locks up this one, it allows the jet bike to go in. And then a similar thing over here, the Solitaire goes in, he can't be overwatched because of his relic, and just gets into the combat without any scratch, which allows all the other characters to just get in there without taking any overwatch as well. So this is the key. We haven't got any damaging weapons. This is where fusion pistols would really work, of course, because they're just rock, but we just haven't got them, so we'll just have to scratch the tanks to death, I think. So we're going to move on to the combat and we'll see what happens. We have got decent ability there. If we can do well, we might be able to hurt the tank. I don't think we'll kill it though. Okay, we'll start the fight phase with this jet bike. This Skyweaver comes in, claims the head of the lieutenant. He only had 2 wounds left, but with 1 swipe and the 2 damage, just cleaves him in twin. So then counter-offensive was played by the commander. He tried to take down as many Harlequins as he could. Got 3 wounds and saved them all. The Harlequins saved on 4s this time, better than they did on 3s. So block that, and then we just continued to fight. So the Harlequins, one of them cut down one of the command team, and then the rest of them are fighting the commander, and we've ended up with this. We've got how many? 3 wounds from kisses. He's going to have to save on 4s, and these are D3 damage each. He's only filled 1. Do you want a command point reroll that? Yeah. Right, he's passed all the kisses. Damn it. Right, so let's see if I get that. Steal that command point in the 1. No. And do you gain that on a 5? Yes. Right. Endless command points for the Imperial Guard. Right, and then there was 5 wounds put on by Harlequin's Embraces. So these are AP -3, but with the Death Masque, he's still just saving on 4s. So he's only got 2 wounds left. All I need to see is 2 fills, and he's dead. And that is 2 fills, and he's already used the command point reroll. The Warlord falls, but in this game there's no Slay the Warlord because it's open play. So he goes down. It's just a matter of pride. The command head has been cut off. Okay, so but before we did that, of course, we did do the other charges, but there was no effect. We did the Voidweaver over here because it charged, didn't do anything. Over here, we did put 4 wounds on this Chimera with the charging unit, and then these didn't do anything to the tank. We're still yet to do this combat because it doesn't really affect anything. So we'll just go over here and do this fight then. Right, so we're going to attack with the Solitaire first. He is within 6 of the Troop Master. We thought we might have to do the Troop Master first just to pile him in closer, but we are actually within 6. So we did actually blitz with the Solitaire, knowing that we're going to fight this tank, so we'll get an extra 2 attacks. So we've got 10 attacks. You can only do that once per game, and he's got 10 attacks now. He's going to be fighting with the Harlequin's Kiss because we're going to get rerolls because of the Troop Master. So we're hitting on 2s with the Solitaire, all but 1, and then we're needing 6s to wound. This is the really hard part. 6s to wound. That's pretty good. We've got 3 so far, and then we're going to reroll all filled wounds because of the Troop Master. And we gain an extra 1, right? So there's 4 wounds, the D3 damage each, but they're only AP -1, so you need to save 4 on 4s. And he gets them all. Right, Solitaire just scratches the surface. I don't know why he doesn't just phase into the tank and kill everyone inside. He must like a challenge. So right, we're going to pile in the characters now and then see if they can do any better. That was our best chance of doing something, and it's failed. Right, we attacked with the rest of the characters here. We had decent chances to do stuff, but the Lehman Russ saved everything, even the D3 attacks from the Shadow Seer. So we could have done a little bit of damage, but it just wasn't to be. It's blessed by the Dark Gods that time. Just couldn't do anything. But what we have done is we've surrounded it, and this post you can't get through. So we've blocked that. It's not going to be able to move. We've pretty much taken it out of the fight for at least another 2 turns here. Again, this is locked up. Didn't do any damage to the vehicles. It attacked the Skyweaver, just trying to shave off a few wounds, but didn't hit. Over here, the 2 last stalwart defenders tried to attack the Harlequins, but Harlequins saved. And then over here, the two tanks fought. The bike had a really good chance of clipping off that last wound, but failed to do it, just couldn't do it. And then no damage up there. So the tank fight, vehicle on vehicle, just been not very good. But what the Harlequins have done is they've shut down all attacks here. That's going to have to peel off combat and not be able to fire. These two are the same, as is that, and that's just totally locked down. So again, harassment from the Harlequins. Okay, not much for the Imperial Guard to do except peel off the combat. So this tank's ran away, and I've just noticed we did have a chance to block that in. If we just came around this side, we could have just stopped that from moving as well. That's just totally blocked in, as we said before. And oh yeah, at the start of the turn, with restoratives, hull point repaired on this tank. Re-rolled to try to get more, but still left with just the one hull point, because it is D3 for that mission rule. This peeled off combat, that peeled off combat, as did the tank in the distance. As you can expect, they're just trying to run, but the Harlequins just won't let them go, just keep on harassing. And then start the shooting phase, so 2 pistols to fire here, and that's the only thing that can be shot, because the Harlequins have just been harassing everything. But 2 shots, 2 hits, 2 wounds, so the Harlequins need to stay on forward, so it might be an efficient turn, really. Well, we filled 1, so there's 1 dead, and where's that gone?
It's 2.
And that's a 2. Right, we've lost 2 Harlequins. That's gruesome stuff. So we'll take these guys. Leadership 8 Harlequins, so we'll still pass our morale regardless. Alright, we've finished the assault phase for the Renegade's turn. Try to do a good job on this tank. We did a better job than before. We've got it down to 5 wounds left. Didn't do any damage in return. And then the Harlequins wiped out this unit here, and were able to consolidate 6 inches and lock up this tank. It did fight back and killed another Harlequin, so we lost 3 Harlequins this turn. And then nothing going on up here. So because we lost 3, if we roll a 6, we're going to lose another Harlequin. This is morale phase now. Oh, flashed a 6, but we're good. 3 Harlequins now, staying strong. They've all got kisses that are in combat with that tank. They're going to have to work hard. It's not easy against Leman Russ. Okay, so it's the beginning of the 3rd round, which means the Comet is going to come into play. So we're going to see where this objective is going to land. So there's the objective. What we've got to do is we've got to roll off, and the player who wins rolls that dice to see where it goes. So the Harlequins get a 1. Astra Militarum get a 2. Not much better. Right, so you need to roll a dice, and whatever number corresponds to that is where the objective is going to land. So roll a dice, see what happens. It's a 6, that means it's going to land direct centre in the table. Okay, so the Comet crashes to the Earth, plummets to the Earth, so I hope everyone's got the bets in on what they think it is. So we're going to take a closer. Comet has arrived, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a squad. It's the real thing, the real squad.
A stunty.
Yeah, he's travelled the galaxy in that pod from his wrecked craft and whatever happened to the squat. He's been travelling for decades in stasis, and now he's finally arrived in the worst place he could ever arrive. So both sides really want that squat. Okay, turn 3 for the Harlequins then. The squat has landed. The real the real McCoy, and the Harlequins just definitely want to get a hold of him. They want to know all of his secrets, what happened to the squats. That's why they want him. So we're just going to keep locked in this combat here. We're not going to do much. It's only got 5 wounds left, so surely we can chew through those last wounds. Trying to set up another net on this Leman Russ to stop it moving, because these are in a spearhead detachment. These Leman Russ have actually got objective secured, so they still can take the squat. And the Harlequins have only got 3 objective secured units left, so we've got to stop these Leman Russ somehow, because they can still win the day. The bikes have gone over here. They're going to try and take out this Chimera. It's only got 6 wounds left. There's a chance. We've got some weaponry to shoot at it. We'll see what we can do. And we'll also heal D3 wounds because of the mission special rule on this jet bike. It's now full health. And up in the top corner here, the harassment still continues. We've got this Void Weaver still going to try and take on this Leman Russ. It's been a handbag fight. No one's damaged each other. In fact, no, yes, because it's healed its wounds. So, yeah. Just going to try and lock it down once again. Just frustrate the guard into submission. Alright, we're going to open up with our psychic phase. We're going to do smite on this tank. See if we can get it. Yes, it comes off. Can't be blocked. So D3 mortal wounds. 2. Right, it's got 3 wounds left, this tank. Alright, we're not going to do any more psychic powers because we don't need perils results. We don't need to take any wounds that we don't have to, because we don't have any command points left to re-roll them if we did. So move straight out of the shooting phase. Neuro pistols didn't do anything against the tank. Only wish they were just fusion pistols. These can't fire. Over here, pistols didn't do anything against the tank. We've shot the shooting cannon over at the Chimera here. It's clipped off a wound. And then we shot double shooting cannons at it. Didn't do anything, but now we've got the prismatic cannon on the Chimera. So we're going to see if we can hit on a 3. Oh, we've missed. They've done nothing this game. Alright, we're going to move on to these 2. We're going to just fire both of them at the tank. See what happens. Right, fired both shooting cannons, only did 1 wound. It's got 4 wounds left, that Chimera. We just cannot seem to do any damage to the tanks. Right, fired 2 of the cannons at this, only achieved 1 wound on it finally. Now we're going to do the prismatic cannon. Can we do anything this game with the prismatic cannons? Well, it's hit, that's a start. Can we get that all important 4? Yes, we do finally. It's AP -4, just goes straight through the armour, no save. So it's straight D6. It's only 2 wounds. It might not have been worth it in the end. So 3 wounds on this tank in that round. Okay, so we're doing charges now. We've completed all our charges. Because these wrapped this vehicle up already in the last turn, these vehicles go into that combat without Overwatch. Over here we took Overwatch on this bike, only took a wound against the Chimera, and then both bikes go in. If we take out that Chimera with this bike somehow, then we're going to get the Consolidate onto this Griffin if all goes well. And over here, Defensive Gunners was played again, did no damage against the Void Weaver, and again we'll get into combat. So no one got the command points back for that stratagem being played, and again it's another frustrating turn for the guard, just getting hounded by the Harlequins. They just cannot get away from this harassment. Okay, we're halfway through the fight phase. We've done all the charging attacks, so we've done this and this. Didn't do anything against the Leman Russ. Too tough. These bikes did nothing against the Chimera. That was a big disappointment. It's only got 4 wounds left. And then in the corner, nothing happens, as you can expect. So we're going to come back to the static fight. So we're going to try the Solitaire. And this tank's got 3 wounds left. He is capable of killing this tank. Let's see if he can do it. So he's got 8 attacks and he's hitting on 2s. Fails 2. Right, we're attacking with the Harlequins Kiss, of course, because it's the one with the high damage. And we are rerolling wounds with the Troop Master. So we'll hit 2, get a reroll to fill wounds. So we'll get 3 hits there. The AP -1. So again, he's saving on 4s. Let's see if you can get that. Oh, all failed. And it doesn't matter what we're rolling the D3. He's only got 3 wounds left. So see if that explodes. If it does, that could be good for you, in fact. It does explode. Oh dear. Alright, this is going to be a bit of a disaster, this. So it's D3 mortal wounds all around. So for the Solitaire, 1 wound for him, the Death Jester. 3 wounds for him, the Troop Master. 3 wounds for him, the Shadow Seer. 2 wounds for him. Alright, and we've just checked the range as well. This bike is within 6. He's only got 2 wounds left. If he escapes this combat, he could just clear off and go somewhere else. Only 1 wound. Oh, that's so close. He's 1 wound left. He's going to keep that Leman Russ locked in. Right, so after that big explosion, the Solitaire, he consolidates 6 inches towards this tank. So he's on his way to deal with other stuff now. Then we've done the Imperial Guard tanks attacking back. So the Imperial Guard tank tried to attack this Skywaver. If it did kill it, then he could have moved off, but failed to hit. It's hard for those tanks. Over here, the Chimera failed all of its attacks, and again in the corner, nothing happens. So it's over the Imperial Guard for their turn 3, and it's going to be another short one. They just can't get away from the Harlequins. Another short turn for the Imperial Guard. So frustrating for them. They've peeled off the combat with this Leman Russ. They did, at the start of the turn with the mission rule, heal 2 wounds on it with the restorative capability, and did use command points. He used the last command point to try and restore that to full health, but didn't quite get there. It's only taken 1 wound. It's still pretty strong. It's trying to make its way over to the squad. This peels off the combat. Again, these 2 tanks can't fire. This is the only thing that can fire, because this Leman Russ is still locked in a combat that it just can't get out of. It's totally surrounded. So we've already done the shots with this. We've fired the heavy bolter at the bike in front, and then the heavy mortar at the Void Weaver in the background. If it could just take that out, it would be a free ride with the Leman Russ, almost. But it's missed all of its shots. That hitting on 5s against Flow's flyers is a hard ask. But it did get 1 wound against the Skywaver, so it needs to save on a 4. He's still got 2 wounds left, but he's failed that, so he's on his last wound. It might be worth charging the Griffin in, but I don't know if he will. Right, so he's desperate, so he is charging the Griffin in. He's already rolled the charge range and came through the Overwatch, so he is in, rolled that crucial 4, and he really wish he kept his last command point for the grinding tracks, or whatever it's called, where you hit wound number 2. Just didn't think he needed it. So here we go. He's hitting on 6s. Let's see what he can do. If he can just take out a bite, that would be pretty cool. He's hit once, and you need to wound on 3. Fails to wound. Ooh, desperation now sets in. Right, slight success over here. The Leman Russ did hit with one of its hits on this Skywaver. It's got its last wound, and if we fail it, that'll be a gap you can get through, but it's too little too late. The characters surely will move in and block that escape route. So here we go. Let's see if we can save on a 4. We do. It's all for nothing anyway. So it's turn 4 for the Harlequins. I think the writing is on the wall here. So we've just done all the Harlequin fight backs in this turn as well. So we've had significant damage. It was the Harlequin Kisses that did the deed. It stripped this down. There's only 6 wounds left on this Leman Russ. The writing is definitely on the wall. And then this attacks back, and here does 2 wounds and shaves off 4 wounds, because it's 2 damage each. So that's got 7 wounds left. So the Imperial Guard are now starting to dwindle as we're moving to Harlequins turn 4. It's looking grim. Alright, Harlequin turn 4, and it is probably going to be checkmate here, regardless of what happens, but we'll play this turn anyway. The Death Jester, he jumps over to the squat. He's now in charge of him, and the squat's never been so afraid in his life, having this skeleton man with a big gun just hover over him. The 2 characters, they join in this combat on this Leman Russ, so they're ready to join that, and then the Void Weaver peels off that combat. Now we've got 2 Void Weavers going to try and take down this Leman Russ. Still got only 1 wound taken on this, so it's still got 11 left. Still some work to do on that, but it's probably too far away to get to the squad. Over here, the bikes just continue to harass all the vehicles. This is only on 4 wounds left. It's susceptible to be shot by all the shuriken fire, and this is still locked in combat, so we'll probably join in there soonish. And of course, I've still got all these Harlequins ready to deliver the pain on this as well. So it's a different story now, because the Troop Master is within range of them to give them rerolls to wound, and that is key to success for taking out vehicles when you're doing it the hard way. Alright, Psych and Shooting Phase. So we did Smite on this tank, but failed to manifest it, so nothing happened. But what we did do was the hallucinogen grenade launcher at this Chimera did one hull point on it, or wound these days, and then we fired all of the shuriken cannons into it and got loads of blade storm and finally wrecked it. So the 6s are coming through that turn. So that's gone now. It's just a slow demise of the Imperial Guard. This is still locked in combat. We're still yet to fight. That needs to be fought. But we're coming over here because we did some shots over here. We had the 2 Void Weavers, both, because there was nothing else to shoot at, we did both of the vehicles' cannons at this. Only took 1 wound off it, but now I thought we'd do the prisms on camera, see if we're going to get a hit with these, see if we can actually do some damage. So 2 are firing, we'll just do them both together, it's easier. So that 2 hits, needing 4s. Could we do some damage? There's 1 d6 damage, there's no save against that. It's the full 6, right? When it rains, it pours. That's 6 wounds just taken off this Lehman Russ. It's not dead, it's got 4 wounds left, but it's severely slowed down now because it's so damaged. Okay, we moved into the fight phases and we've just completed everything all in one swoop. So with everyone attacking here, I thought it was a sure thing, but no, didn't even do 1 wound to the Lehman Russ, but he still is surrounded. He did fight back and didn't do any damage himself. All of the bikes got in this combat on this one. No Overwatch needed to be taken because it was already locked. Just took 2 wounds off it, so not very good in the combat phase, but it's locking these vehicles down once again is just what we needed, and that's what we got. So this moved in on the Lehman Russ and shut that down for yet another turn. So we're just going to call it there because there's just absolutely no way the Imperial Guard are getting away from the Harlequins. We've got the squat, we've got what we needed. We would feel sorry for harassing the guard, but we'll just laugh in the face because we are Harlequins. So we are just going to call it there. The Death Jester just picks the squat up by the scruff of his neck and just drags him into the webway. What becomes of the squat, who knows? I hope we kill him because I hate squats, but anyway, he's gone now. The Harlequins get their wicked way and they disappear back into the webway. Okay, we're just doing units of the game. It's a close tie. It's a close toss-up between the troop and the bikes. The troop was really good, got in there really fast and just survived, and the Kissers did okay in the end. They didn't quite be the wrecking ball. It would be good against other vehicles, but Lehman Russ stuff really hard. Definitely need those fusion pistols, and but it's probably going to go to the bikes because they just got up in the Imperial Guard's face straight away. Just didn't even give them a chance to breathe, and they survived the game. Probably only because of the mission rule of being able to regain wounds, but they did what they needed to do and they survived into the game. Still got 3 left, which is unusual. Normally all die, but yeah, unit of the game goes to the Sky Weavers.